So welcome in everyone. Thank you for coming in onto the show. This one's going to be a little bit different in a couple of ways. One, we're going to be having live musicians as our interviewees slash guests, and this is going to be a group interview. So without further ado, would you guys like to introduce the band and all the members in it?
All right, yeah, what's up, guys? Hey, my name is Hudson Watts, and this is The Vibe, and we are Hudson Watts and The Vibe. Z-Man on the drums,
Howdy, I'm Zach.
and we got K Bird on the lead guitar. And yeah, again, I'm Hudson Watts, and we are The Vibe.
Cool deal. Now, let's assume no one knows, who are you guys? What kind of music do you play? Do you have
Yeah,
like a little snippet description of what the vibe really is?
absolutely. Absolutely. So it really the the genre that we do is fully to be determined. I've been considering us like alternative rock, psychedelic rock, kind of a combination between the two.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I started with writing some songs in my apartment and produced a little bit to them, and then I started getting these guys over for some practices for some live performance. And since I wrote those songs, these songs have just taken an entirely different form, and it's just been like a really fast, really cool connection between these guys.
And so this whole connection, the whole group is a relatively new one. If you're
Yeah.
saying that the genre is not narrowed in, it's because it's been too new to have it figured out yet.
Yeah, yeah. We started practicing, I think, 3 months ago now, but we're at the point now to where we have our first headline show. It's not like a huge deal by any means. It's a backyard show at one of our friends' house, but we got flyers printed up, got wristbands made. Like the songs sound really good. We've been practicing really hard over these past 2 or 3 months. So it's like, you know, it's moving fast, but not at any pace that we wouldn't want it to. You know what I mean?
Sure. It's cool that it's going somewhere. It's nice
Yeah,
to be able to make your art, do your music, and have it have a little bit of life to it. It's not just like, oh, I made it, and it's like, oh, well, mom
ex-
listened, cool. Guess she'll listen to the next song.
exactly. Post it on Spotify. Hope a playlist picks it up. Like,
Mm,
really, we're trying to just like focus back on the music, and I haven't been focused on the marketing at all, other than just like physical stuff, flyers and bracelets.
yeah. And just to make sure, is there anyone else that's in the band or is like a main contributor to the production of it all?
At this point, I would probably say I'm the main contributor just because I wrote the songs. But again, like they've taken on an entirely different form at this point because of like us playing together. We do have a bassist. She is sick tonight. R.I.P. Leah. Not
Hopefully not
actually.
that
She
sick.
is alive and well. Yeah. And then we also have a horn player. His name is Nate. He
Huh.
rocks and rolls pretty tough, pretty hard. So at this point, I think that's the whole band. We have another guy named Max who comes in every once in a while and plays guitar with us, and he's pretty good. But getting schedules lined up is always difficult. So it is what it is. But he's played just as much of a part in this as like anybody else has, and that's what I really like about what we're doing is it's a very collaborative effort since we've started playing together.
Well, that's good because I don't know if anyone's listening if they get weirded out by some names of band and they try and analyze it to death and they go, oh, Hudson Watts and the Vibe. So it's like, oh, it's this guy does like everything, and they just will show up to because he can't play seven instruments at once. So it's nice to hear that it's an actual like group effort, despite
Yeah,
whatever the name might tell people.
definitely. Hudson Watts and the Vibe really just rolls off the tongue well. Like the story behind the name is very simply put. We were in class one day talking to one of our instructors about community night that our school is having, and we were trying to come up with band names for the band at that point because I was getting together our first practice, just like getting ideas settled, and somebody shouted out Kel and the Vibe. And my middle name is Kel, and I go by Kel oftentimes. And then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, Hudson Watson the Vibe. Just rolls off the tongue really easily.
And you can't fight it. Like if it just sounds good and it feels good, you're like, well,
Hey, if
shit, I
it
guess we're
sounds
doing
good, it sounds good.
that. Exactly. So before I get into too many stories of like you guys specifically or how it all got together, let's try to like sell it a bit more for anyone who's like, oh, do I want to listen to these guys at all? Do you have like a snippet of the songs we can hear, either live or maybe we'll even pipe in later some of the real pretty mastered stuff if you get any of
Yeah,
that
I
later.
mean, we don't need all that. I mean, we'll just play a song for you.
All
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah, no, I'll let me get this other mic set up real quick and then we'll start going. It's a big world full of people that I don't know. I could look for ages in so many places that I don't wanna go. But I don't wanna waste time. All I want is to find you at my door. Baby, out of my mind. When I close my eyes, all I see is you. I'm still in love. 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 So that was Still in Love.
Woo!
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, hope everybody listening enjoyed that. That was this is probably one of my favorite songs that I've ever written, and by far one of the coolest songs I've ever heard live. If I'm allowed to say that.
Good deal. All right. Now that everyone knows what kind of music vibe is Hudson Watson the Vibe, let's get more into what makes up the members and such. We can even start with you, Hudson, since you got the mic, of what got you into doing music in the first place. And just so that we know, you are the singer and lead guitarist for the group, or what's your jam? What's your title?
For sure, for sure. I'll start with the title because it's easiest. I am the lead singer for the group. I wouldn't consider myself lead guitarist. I would consider this guy the lead guitarist, K-Bird over here. I am mostly just there to fill in the spots where he doesn't have like 7 fingers to play. Is kind of my role at this point. And then I have a couple solos that, I'll throw in there just to have a little bit of fun. So yeah, I play guitar, I sing the vocals, and we jam. I started playing piano just like we would be driving home, hear a song on the radio that was new, and I would like the melody, so I would go home and pick out the melody on piano. And eventually that translated to piano lessons, and then I hated piano, and then I started playing guitar. And it was kind of the same thing for a while, just picking out different melodies and like kind of trying to solo to said melody, And then my dad started teaching me chords, and it just kind of took off from there. Like once I figured out you could play more than one string at a time, it was game over. So yeah, that's really how I got my start in music. I started producing when I was like 13 years old. You know, didn't have a ton of knowledge at that point. Probably wouldn't enjoy a single thing that I showed you, but I started then, and I enjoy those beats. You know what I mean? I've also always been like interested in audio and stuff like that. So being my own engineer was never really an issue or anything like that. But especially now that I'm at a school of engineers, I have literally 4 other people on the band that can do exactly what I've been doing. So you know. Works out very well that way. But yeah, that's in a nutshell how I got into music, and I probably won't ever get out of music if I had to assume.
And so that kind of alludes a little bit to my next question of as far as like any official training goes. You mentioned a little bit of piano lessons and some audio school. What would you call like if you were to put your music such onto a resume, is there any sort of things that you could put as like, well, this was kind of official. Not that you need it, but let's say if you, I know that we had gone to audio school together, but it was
Hmm.
things like that that'd be like, oh, me Hudson, me do this, me done that.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. So I yeah, went to Crass in 2019, back at Crass now cuz COVID happened, wasn't able to finish, long story short. I started getting really into audio from church audio back in the day. I can't say that I'm necessarily affiliated with the church at this point, but got to give credit where it's due, you know what I mean? Like that is where I got my like heart for audio, cuz church audio is like it's pretty crazy once you start getting deep into it, like the networking and everything like that. So there is a church in Kansas City called I'm actually not even going to say the name, but pretty large church, you know, big console, run Dante, you know, have all the waves plug in, like the waves card for the Dante input and all that. Long story short, church audio was how I got my start, and they had a big setup, and it was a lot to learn, but because it was a lot to learn, I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I've played in various worship bands also throughout the years with that religious background. At college specifically, we had a traveling worship group that was pretty fun because we would just go all around and play music. It was a great time. Otherwise, most of my accolades are pretty self-induced. Like I released my first fully self-produced, self-written album in 2018, and that got over 200,000 streams across platforms. So, you know, I'm pretty proud of that one.
And that's an okay amount.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely decent. I'll take what I can get, you know what I mean? And I don't plan on stopping anytime soon either. So that was just kind of proof to myself that eventually, you know, bigger things will happen. It's just like the effort it's taken to get there, and the you know, getting good at sound at church was one thing, getting good on the worship band was one thing, but like once I released the album in 2018, that's when I really started to like individualize my music and start to like craft my own sound, so to speak. And luckily it's led to a point and I'm gonna bring them up a lot because like I, again, credit where it's due, my sound is where it is right now because of these fuckers. You know, it's really hard to describe like how I've gotten to where I am with my sound, but like I just have to mention the fact that like I would not be where I'm at with this sound if it weren't for these people, because their tastes are fairly similar in music, but they also have like a lot of different tastes in music that I don't have, and they bring in a fresh perspective that I haven't like thought of before, you know. So I won't hog the mic anymore, but yeah, that is Hudson Watts in a nutshell.
Well, good deal. Who would you pass the mic off to? Who's our next guinea pig? Get in the hot seat.
How you living, man?
Fine, how you living?
Pretty good?
Okay, so I'll ask you, you're the drummer for the band, yeah?
Yep, yes.
Is that like you, not to say that you play only one instrument, just want to make sure, is drumming your jam, that's your instrument?
So I played a guitar for a good. Actually, started playing guitar originally, but yeah, I got into drums at one point. My dad just brought a drum kit to my house one day, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be fun. So yeah, just went at it. Started going. Played in a lot of bands. In high school, did a lot of recordings, and that was how I got into audio engineering. Actually, decided to go to school for it here in Arizona. But yeah, I played in a lot of bands. Did a lot of live shows. We played like a Pride Festival at one point that was real fun. Did a couple like baseball fields and stuff. Tried to record a couple albums, and I was just so interested by being in the studio and just the the whole vibe that was created there. And I don't know, it was just a place I could tell I wanted to be, so I kind of decided to go pursue that because I like drumming, but I'd like to just be a part of music in general, and I feel like it's a little easier to make money off of engineering than it is playing in bands. But
That's literally what my mindset was when I went to Crass 2. I was like, well, I like music, but I don't want to just keep playing in a bar and hope it works. I want to have like something more legit. I couldn't find a better word than legit because it's not that. I don't
yes,
want like all musicians to be like, well, I'm not legit. No, that's not it. Just to have another facet to stay in that world, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
So how did you get to being part of the Hudson Watson the Vibe experience?
Yeah, so went to Crass, moved here, and then I was playing on a guy named Frank Sessions for a bit, recording some of his tracks for him. Yeah, shout out Frank, love that guy. He's doing a mix in one of the rooms, and Kel was in there, and I came in, peeked my head in, saw there were a lot of people, came and sat down, and I think Kel asked me if I wanted to play on a track, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It's always pretty fun. So yeah, I recorded on one of his tracks, recorded some drums for it. It was real fun. And then he wanted to throw together a live band. He's like, would you like to play drums? And I was like, well, of course. So yeah.
Good deal. I'll try to keep the questions a little bit variable so you don't feel like, oh, but I did this, I did that. Doing the crass schooling, is there any specific thing you're hoping you're going to be able to learn all the way? Like, I want to be really good at making sure we can track well, or I want to make sure that mastering, we've got that down packed because of what I got. Is there any like specific area that you're just like super into or want to be really good at?
I mean, I think off the bat, just being able to go into a studio and work as an engineer and track bands and get them products that they're very happy with and feel like they've been expressed properly through the microphones. I think that's kind of just my goal is make sure even if I'm not working with big bands, just make sure that the bands that I am working with are happy in the product and what they're doing. Something that they're proud of releasing. So
I guess one last question that I'm thinking about now, I'll ask Hudson here too when we get back to him probably. Do you have like a goal or like a vision of what you hope is the future of either Hudson Watts or yourself as a musician when it comes to, do you hope to be like a big touring band? Do you want to be good enough to where you can kind of stay home, digitally produce and have that be all you need? Maybe you focus more on the engineering side. Anything that you want to speak on that vein?
yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to just play in bands as much as I can. I feel like it's always entertaining, just the whole thing of playing with people, collaborating, even if it's someone else's music, being able to put yourself into that too and try to get them something they're happy with. I think I'll always enjoy that. So I think my goal is trying to do both, play in bands, and if something gets successful at some point, that would be pretty wonderful. For now, I guess just have fun with what I'm doing regardless, and try to for sure play both in bands and do some engineering and stuff. But yeah.
That's a good mindset to have, that the main thing of just enjoying it really no matter what it is, because it can turn out into 16 different flavors, but if you're gonna like it pretty much no matter what, then good, that's kind of the point.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool. Thanks for talking for your little bit here.
Yeah, of course, man. Thanks for talking to me.
Here we have Kieran. Is that what I heard is the last guy here for today?
Sure. Hey, how you doing?
Fine. How you is?
Hell yeah. Well, I'm Kieran. I play guitar. Met Hudson at school, asked him to jam, and then we jammed. He hit me up a while later, asked me to be in the band. I was like, that sounds like fun. So here we are.
I like how this all just came together, just like kind of semi-randomly. Like we were just in school, we jammed a bit, we liked it, we keep doing it. Like it's just perfect.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's how a lot of good bands come together, you know what I mean? You just find musicians that you have fun jamming with, and then it all comes together at the end of the day. 'Cause there's not much else that you need besides that, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I don't know if there's too many people who might think this way, but it's not as if, let's say if Hudson was going to be the start of the band, it's not like, okay, I guess now I can open auditions and I can send out a bunch of flyers and we'll bring in, I got like 20 guitarists lined up who want to try. Okay, play a little thing. Okay, cool. Okay, okay. It's usually just kind of accident, at least in my experience, of like, I was gaming or jamming with this guy. It was cool. And we found another guy. He was cool with us too. Fourth person's cool sometimes, so we bring him in once in a while, and now we have our group.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Just falls into place.
Yeah. So playing guitar, you've been doing it for how many years now?
I think I've been playing for like 6 years now. Yeah, 6 years.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's not a
Mhm.
little more recent. Some people, I've been playing music since I was 5 years old. I just can't put it down. But you can pick anything up. Not that I'm saying that you're old and it's too late for like you. I don't know why
No,
you
no,
got into
definitely,
guitar
yeah.
so late, but some
Yeah, I
people
got
think
you.
it has to be
Mhm.
in middle school or around kid time to where you can pick up an instrument, you can do it whatever and still be in a band and doing well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you can pick up anything at any time, and as long as you just like commit some time to it. I'm not the best guitarist ever, right? But like, I can at least play and have fun. So you can pick up anything and then get at least decent at it for you to enjoy it, I feel like. And with other people too. And so, it's dope.
Well, maybe one day you'll be a best guitarist. Now that Prince is out of the way, it should be easier competition.
Yeah, exactly. Now that I'm not living like when yeah, Prince and those cats were alive for sure. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good guitarists out right now though. I don't know if I can compete with those guys, man. But but yeah, it's still fun. It's good.
Yeah, it's good to, not that you don't necessarily have the goal of being the best guitarist, but I find that generally people who don't have that as the front of their mindset have a little bit of a happier, carefree time with their music and such. They're not so wound up about being the best all the time. Like, that's one thing to make a good song, good product. That's one thing. But to always be perceived as, for sure, I'm the guy, I'm the Michael Jordan of guitar, it may not be always the healthiest mindset to have. So it's good
No,
that you
yeah,
don't
for
seem to
sure.
have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you can really only do like the best that you can do like at that moment. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want in the future. You could get however much better, but that's like wherever you are, wherever I'm at, I feel like I just have to not compare myself, you know what I mean? Because they're just kind of like, yeah, it's just not fun and then it's just like I don't know. At that point it's like why even bother for me? That's like my whole thing. So,
So what got you into going to Crass in the first place? Is it a similar story of just trying to be in music in multiple ways, or
yeah, no, definitely. So, I really enjoy music. I like playing guitar, but I also like enjoy the tech aspects of it all. I think that's really cool, especially like the older gear, like tape machines, and then like compressors like the LA2A that still have that original like optic circuit. Like that's really cool, and like just maintaining those types of things and then keeping them available for people. Maybe even like making your like a copy of it yourself. That's something really really cool to me. And then like Zach was saying, just being able to set up a session in a way that somebody's like creative ideas can like come to life. Like that's pretty cool thing to be part of. At the end of the day, like when the product is done, it's a pretty good feeling. So that it's I guess it's like it's a little bit of both. It's like the tech aspects, the nerd aspect, that's super sick, and the creative aspect, you got to enjoy that for sure.
yeah, you really get to bring the two sides of the brain, or both sides of the world, where you have this thing. You're like, okay, so I have this idea for a song. It needs to feel like, sound like, blah. Okay, well,
Hmm.
here's all the 1400 microphones and compressors and tools, and let's figure out how we can mix that all together to get what you want. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a good process on both ends to be a part of. So it's definitely something I look forward to doing every day. I'd say that for sure.
And just
Hmm.
as it's crossing my mind, are you all like, I know the schooling goes by cycles, 3 week start dates. Are you all about the same grade? Are you some of you further along and others in the past?
Yeah, we're all cycle nine, so we're all except for him. So we're all about 3/4 of the way through the program.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be like an internship at the end sort of thing to get graduated. Or is this going to be a good thing that you're excited for? Do you have ideas already of what you maybe not necessarily where if you don't, or like
Yeah.
there's a certain type of internship you hope to get?
No, definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to move to Nashville for my internship. Hopefully, be working in a studio, like a hybrid studio would be ideal. Something that's got like a modern like Pro Tools rig going on, but also some nice analog gear to mess around with as well. That'd be nice for sure.
Well, good luck with that. I know Nashville is a
Mm.
big spot for music, so that could be good and bad. Everyone knows it, so everyone's there, but then there's gonna be a lot of supply because that's what they're for. So Hopefully it pans out good.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will.
Thanks for
Hmm.
chatting with me.
Yeah, thank you, man. All right, I'm gonna give the mic back to Hudson.
Hey.
So give me a small little bit about like any of the future stuff that the band is doing. You mentioned that there's going to be like a backyard concert. Is there much on the radar right now? Even if it's something like, oh, hey, we're planning on doing a 7 track, 16 track album that's getting released soon.
Yeah, definitely have a lot of things in the works, like all together. So we have the backyard show on the 29th. We have community night on the 12th, which we'll be playing a set at. Community night is just this thing that our school does, and like just for those who don't know, it raffles and games and live music, and you get invited. They invite the community is what I mean to say. So it should be a good time. We're constantly going to different bars, playing different open mic nights and stuff like that. One thing that I definitely want to put together before we wrap up is like a live studio session version of the album that we'll be releasing. And something cool about that, and like you'll see if you ever come to one of our shows, most of our song, like I keep talking about, the way that the songs have shifted since we've started playing are like night and day difference as far as like how they sound. So thought it might be fun after we get a couple of bigger shows like done and recorded and posted and all that good stuff. We'll release an album with songs that sound more similar to how they're played live, if that makes sense. So then we can play the same song twice in a night, and a lot of people would probably enjoy that. In my opinion, it might not pan out that way, but either way, want to do the studio album, the live studio album. Other than that, I think it's just mostly playing open mic nights at bars and trying to book shows at those bars eventually, just keep playing until something sticks. I mean, that's my goal at the end of the day. I know like Zach was talking about, it's about having fun and just like playing music. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is have fun and play music.
And as far as that album goes, like broad scheduling, is this like a 2025 project? Is this kind of like whenever we get to it?
So the initial album is pretty much done. There's a few different overdub things that we need to do. I'm going to print all the tracks to tape and then back into Pro Tools to get some good tape saturation on the final mix. And then after that, we're pretty much good to go. So it should be within the next month or two that this album is released. I don't have an official date yet, but when I do, I will send it to you.
If it takes me a while to edit this podcast and I get that by then, it'll be in this episode, and you all will have heard this.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
So I guess for some of the last little bits to ask, I guess it'd be for anyone who's thinking about going into music themselves, whether it's individually joining a band, starting a band. Are there any kind of perspectives, tips, tricks, whatever you'd like to phrase it as, from your own experience of like, hey, I've noticed that when I went to school, everything worked out great. You should try and get some kind of schooling or official business done on the music side. Or, I really enjoy doing this, or this kind of got in the way for me. Like, I didn't realize how many hours it was going to be to do that. So if you want to do music, like, and have it be something you do full time, it's going to take full time to do it. Anything that comes to mind that you'd care to share for any inspiring musicians?
For sure. I like make your music. First and foremost, make your music. If music makes you happy, make your music. Second thing, if your goal is to be successful in music, I mean, I'm not super successful in music, so I can't say much here, but I'm pretty pleased with the quality of my music at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I've worked hard, like I said earlier, to kind of construct this sound that I've constructed. So like, take your time, listen to a lot of music, find what you really enjoy, write songs that sound like something that you would enjoy, and then post a video or two, do your thing. If content's not your thing, don't post a video or two. Go busk, go hand out flyers, do what you can. If your goal is for your music to be successful, there has to be some sort of way for like you to be able to tell people about that, whether that be releasing your music on Spotify and doing your content on it, or whether that be, releasing your music on Bandcamp and handing out QR codes for it. You know what I mean? There's always a way to do it. Now, what you were mentioning a minute ago as far as just like the time investment, be ready to not sleep a lot. Like it does take a lot of effort to be successful as a musician, and I'm finding that out very quickly. You know what I mean? Now that I like, this is one of the first times in my life I would say that I've taken music this seriously, and it is also equally the most consistent, the least amount of sleep I've gotten one period of my life. So worth it, worth every second that I'm missing, because if I'm not, if I'm not working on music, I'm generally doing something to kind of, help myself through this time. I'm going over to Harvey's with K Dog. We're having band practice, and I'm just kind of getting lost in the sauce during that. Or I've started watching this new ABC show called High Potential recently. If you haven't watched it and you like really crappy true crime TV, watch it. So good. Stuff like that I know that I enjoy, that I like before this never really applied effort into doing for myself, because it was just like, I don't know how to explain it any further than that. But when you're putting so much effort into one thing, it's much easier to say, okay, I'm gonna take a couple hours for myself tonight. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Take a shower, light a candle, read a book. Whatever it takes. But like, just to like kind of sum all that up, make your music, don't stop. It's going to be hard. It's okay if it's too hard. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you really feel like making music is your shtick, do it. Like, there's no one stopping you but yourself.
I like that little bit at the end there, and it's also good to hear kind of the duality of it. Of there's dedicating yourself to music and there's sacrificing yourself to music. And it's
Mm-hmm.
good that you say, yeah, put as like your whole self into it. You might lose some sleep. You're going to spend a lot of time. Maybe you find little side facets to stay in that mindset that helps you along. But you're still a human being. You're still allowed
Yeah.
to.
Got to take care of yourself. Got to find the balance of the two for sure. Absolutely.
Do we have any little tidbits of knowledge or wisdom that Zach and Kieran care to?
Tidbits of
Not that you have to.
I would honestly say, from my experience, the most important thing, if you want to do music, just do it. Just try it. Worst that's going to happen might not be for you, but the best that's going to happen, which usually is what happens, is you're going to find something that you love, and you can collaborate with people who also love doing this thing, and you'll meet amazing people, have some wonderful friends, wonderful experiences. So, yeah, I would say, music is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. I think it's probably the most fun I've had doing anything. So I would say at the end of the day, if you think you want to try it, try it. Nothing bad's going to happen, really. It's probably something really good,
Listen to that itch. Go ahead and scratch it, and then
Yeah.
what, you scratched an itch? Oh no!
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's about it. Just go for it,
Hey, that works. It doesn't need to be too long. That's perfect. I could help spur on anyone that's like, oh, I don't know, but they hear this and they go, okay, I'll try. I'll try.
Hell yeah. For real, I'll pass it over to Kieran quick.
Send us on home. Here's the real zinger. You have to have the best one.
I would just say talk to as many people as you can and practice hard and play what you like and play as much as you can and play with people as much as you can. And like what Zach was saying, get after it, and like you'll be rewarded with a lot of like good experiences and meet a lot of really cool people. So it can be a life-changing thing, honestly. So that's it. I think if you take it like that, not to sound like corny or whatever, but you can have a good time if you ride the wave, for sure. So
I'm guessing nobody
my
here is
advice.
regretting riding the wave.
I mean, I'm just saying, if you get after it and you just let the momentum take you somewhere, like you'll reach new places that you'll be very pleased with, and that's cool. So that would be what I would have to say for sure. I'll pass it back off to this guy.
Thank you for sharing.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm glad we could sum it up for you.
Yeah, thanks for having
us,
this.
man.
Yeah, thanks for being on this interview. It was kind of fun when you were like, hey, I can have like our whole band. Do you want to do that? I was like, I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, shit, fuck, that'd be fun. Like,
Why not?
let's do a group session and see how it works out. That's been fun.
Yeah, dude. No, I think we had fun.
Good. And for any of you listening, I'll tell you how you can find all this. Like the group is Hudson Watts, HUDSON space WATTS space, and the vibe as you think it's spelled. We can find you guys on what platforms? Pretty much all of them, I'm guessing.
So whenever we release music, we'll be on everything except Spotify.
Except Spotify. Is any
I'm
reason?
gonna sum it up really quickly for you.
If you want to.
Spotify is a corporate monster, and I hate them.
Good reason. That works enough.
No, but like we're still. The point is to be accessible, so we're still gonna try to release on as many platforms as possible. We have Bandcamp links ready to go, and yeah, we'll have physical media too.
Cool deal. So anyone who's in the Phoenix area, right?
Yep, Phoenix area.
If you want to see some live music, you know one more band that you can go see.
Hudsen Watson, the vibe. Look it up. No. This was fun though. Thanks, dude. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks a lot to y'all, and thank you to those listening. We'll see you again next time.